Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I will be sharing with you 10 beauty products that make me feel flawless. As a content creator, at the beginning of every new year, I like to go back and look at my older videos and see which ones were the most popular, which ones resonated the most with my viewers, and which ones might need to be updated. And by updated, I'm referring to those types of videos like top 10 foundations for mature skin, top 5 concealers for mature skin. Every year, new products in every category are released, and I do my best to try as many as possible. And sometimes the products are amazing, sometimes they're not so great, but sometimes they're so good that I need to update my best of lists, or in this case, my products that make me feel flawless. So the last time I uploaded this video was about 1 year ago. And at the time, it was a tag video that was going around the beauty community. As always, I am one of the last people to upload these tag videos, so I honestly don't remember who started it or how long it was around before I finally got to filming mine, but as I mentioned moments ago, you all seem to really enjoy it, and I think that sharing these products that make me feel the most confident, that make me feel the most beautiful, are the ones that you are most eager to hear about. At least that's my hope. All right, let's get started with the first product that makes me feel flawless. And it is a new product. I've only had it for about 5 or 6 days. And it is the new Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. Now you might be thinking, Risa, that's not a new product. It's been out for a really long time. You are most likely thinking of the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. The packaging overall looks very similar, except the Veil Mineral Primer has this metallic gunmetal cap, and the new Vanish Airbrush Primer has a gold cap. The sales associates at Sephora were a little confused too. They kept trying to tell me that this is the one I was looking for, and I kept saying, no, this one is new. It's not that one. And then finally they found it for me. I've been a huge fan of the Veil Primer for several years now because it is one of the best I have found for helping to control oil. But what this one does better, in my opinion, is it really smooths the look of my pores. And not only that, it makes my skin feel so silky, and whatever foundation I put on over it just looks miles better. I've tested this primer now with about 4 or 5 different foundations, and it works beautifully underneath all of them. This is now the first step in my makeup routine after moisturizer and sunscreen, of course, and I do not want to ever be without it. Now, when it comes to products that make me feel flawless, how could I not mention foundation? I have quite a few foundations that I truly love and adore that are in my little foundation rotation. I shouldn't say little because there's actually probably 8 to 10 foundations that I have on my vanity right now that I reach for on different occasions. Sometimes I want and need that full coverage that's going to last me 12 to 16 hours. In those cases, I reach for my Estee Lauder Double Wear or my Studio Fix Fluid. There are some cases where I want my skin to look a little bit more dewy, and maybe I'm only going out for 3 or 4 hours for an event and I don't need the foundation to look exceptionally matte and last that long. In those cases, I'll reach for my Armani Luminous Silk, or these days, I reach for the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau. This foundation does not get enough attention, especially in the mature skin over 40 sphere. This is one of the most beautiful foundations I have ever put on my face. It looks so natural. The shade that you're seeing here, 3N, is a little bit dark for me right now, but I do have it on. As you can see, I've blended it down my neck and chest, which is what I do if I'm using a darker foundation. And as many of you know, I do use a self-tanner or fake tan at home about once a week, once every 2 weeks. So on those occasions, the foundation matches perfectly. But as you can tell during this demo, my skin was not tanned. So I did have to take it down my neck and chest. But more importantly, I want you to look at the way my skin looks. This foundation has such a natural skin-like finish, yet offers a nice amount of coverage. I have oily skin, so this is, as I said earlier, not a foundation that I personally would reach for if I need longevity. If I need it to wear 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, I would definitely need to powder a lot. I would definitely need to use a setting spray. But if you don't have oily skin like I do, if you are more normal or normal to dry or very dry skinned, I think this is going to last very, very well on you. You won't have the issues that I have with it. Because honestly, the shine is the only negative for me. It's not like the foundation breaks up or anything. It just gets excessively shiny. Keeping in the complexion category, I want to talk about under eye correctors. I have a lot of concealers, much like foundations, that I love, that I rotate through, that I recommend to people, that I think are really, really excellent. But one product that I think a lot of people skip out on doing when applying their makeup, that I truly feel makes a really big difference, is under eye corrector. A couple of under eye correctors that I personally really like are the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish. I think that LA Girl makes an excellent one. And here I'm using one of my most recent finds. This is from Beauty Pie. This is their Super Luminous Under Eye Genius Corrector. I'm using the shade Light Medium. Hopefully you can see in this demo that the hint of peach is really counteracting the bluish purplish tones on the side of my nose and right down here, but it also gives a luminosity to my under eyes. So I really, in a hurry, could just use this on its own as my corrector and concealer. But on most days, especially if I want to feel flawless, I will go ahead and put a concealer on top of it and my under eyes look perfect. Now, choosing a powder that makes me feel flawless was pretty difficult because I feel like there are so many incredible powders out on the market these days at not only the drugstore, but in the mid-price range, in the luxury range. So it was really difficult for me to choose the one that makes me feel the most airbrushed or filtered without using a filter. And I have to tell you that a part of me, when I was planning this video, didn't want to use all high-end, didn't want to feature all really expensive products. I wanted to have a little bit of a balance, but I also needed to be true to myself and to my audience. So I went for the Dior. I used this Dior Forever Cushion Powder in the shade Light in a testing hot new makeup video last fall. And in that video, you could see in real time my first impression of this powder. The first time I used it, my jaw dropped. It was literally like using an airbrush tool in Facetune and wiping away all my pores and fine lines. This powder is so good. I also use it under my eyes to set my concealer and brightener, and it never gets cakey. It is just such a finely milled, silky, incredible powder. Okay, moving on to brows. I complain a lot about my lack of eyebrows. They are blonde, they are sparse. I did have microblading done. Gosh, I think it may be 5 years now since I've had it done, and I am finally starting to see hairs grow back at the front of my brows. I thought it was never going to happen. I thought that the microblading killed the follicle and I would never have hair there again. So for the last several years, I have been consistently seeking out the best brow pencils, brow pomade, brow fluffing gels, and I always go back to, say it with me now if you are a regular, consistent viewer of my videos, the Ulta Brow Tint. I think I discovered this last summer, early summer, and I have gone through many of them. This is the perfect size applicator for someone with naturally very thin brows. A lot of times the applicators on other brow gels and brow tints, they're just too long for my eyebrows or they're too thick. So I get more of the product on my skin than I do on my brows. This is the perfect size. This was just made for eyebrows like mine. And as you can see here, they really do get fluffed up when I use this product. Then I can go back in with a pencil or a brow tint pen and fill in any sparse areas. But if I'm in the mood to have that sort of trendy, fluffy, fuller brow look, this is the product that I reach for. As far as the shades go, I do alternate between light and blonde. If I'm feeling like I want my brows to be a little bit lighter looking, I'll go for the blonde. If I want them to be a little bit darker, I'll go for the light. Okay, we are halfway through the 10 products that make me feel flawless. And now I want to move on to bronzer and highlighter. I honestly thought that picking these two products would be more difficult than it actually was. But my husband and I went out for a date night the other evening. And whenever we have our monthly or bi-monthly date nights, we usually go out to a nice dinner or a show. We live in Las Vegas, so the options are endless. And I like to get dressed up and I like to look my best. And these next two products are the ones that I automatically went for because I knew that they looked the best on my skin. And the bronzer is the Ilia Night Light Bronzing Powder in the shade Novelty. This bronzer just glides over my skin. It gives me a truly tanned appearance. It's really hit or miss when trying to find the perfect shade of bronzer for your skin tone. And when one hits, when you find that one that just looks amazing, just so complimentary on your skin tone, you can't stop using it. And this is that bronzer for me. I love everything about it. The formula, the texture, the wear time, it's just so, so good. And for highlight, I went for my Makeup by Mario in Golden. It doesn't accentuate fine lines, and it's also friendly to those of us that have large pores and texture. And I really think the shade Golden would work on a lot of different skin tones. I use it when my skin is more fair, I use it when my skin is more tanned, or I've used a darker foundation. It just looks so beautiful and it gives that real natural looking glow. I do know that these highlighters have been out of stock and I think almost all colors for a while now. So I am going to show you my runner-up, which is this one from Ofra. It is from my friend Samantha March's collection with them, and it's called Start Inspired. Both of the shades in this highlighter, the soft pink and the soft yellowy gold, look amazing as an inner corner highlight right here for your eyes. Probably the most difficult category for me to choose a product for this video is blush. I am mostly drawn to pinky peach blushes. Most of the time, those blushes will also have a hint of shimmer. But if I could only keep one, it would be She's Passionate from Patrick Ta. This blush is just so beautiful, and yes, it is what I currently have on. I also have on the Ilia bronzer and the Makeup by Mario highlighter, and then this Patrick Ta blush. Now this particular shade doesn't really have any shimmer to it. That's okay. Sometimes I do like to keep my blush matte, especially if I'm using a dewier foundation and I want the highlight to sort of be the standout product. But I also want some color on my cheeks. I want that sort of youthful, fresh, just in from the cold flush. This is the blush that I reach for. The texture of this blush is so buttery and blendable, and the color stays true. It does not fade throughout the day, even without using a setting spray. Okay, I'm cheating a little bit with product number 9 because it's actually 3 products. If I'm going to talk about products that make me feel flawless, I have to clump in a glossy nude lip because I can't just use, or I personally don't use just one product to achieve my glossy nude lip. I need a nude lip pencil. In this case, I used Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude, but I also really like MAC Strip Down, NYX lip pencil in Natural or Nude Beige, Makeup by Mario's lip liner in Travis, and then Anastasia Beverly Hills has an excellent new nude lip pencil called Hazelnut. So I always start off with one of those pencils, and then I will usually go in with a peachy pink or pinky nude lipstick. I don't know where I've been, why I've been sleeping on City Lips, because so many of my YouTuber friends use City Lips and rave about it constantly. And actually, now that I think about it, I have used the plumping lip glosses in the past. I don't know why I don't use them more often, but I had never used one of their matte lipsticks. And I gotta say, I have been loving the shade Blush Rose, and I'm really enjoying the formula. It does not feel dry on my lips at all. City Lips lip products contain hyaluronic acid, collagen-supporting peptides, and they do have a slight instant plumping effect. And since dissolving my lip filler about 4 years ago now, I am all in on the plumping. So between the nude liner, the plumping lipstick, and the plumping gloss, I really feel like a lot of people believe that I still get lip filler, even though I do not. And my favorite plumping lip glosses have to be the ones from Buxom. I've been using them for years. They come in every shade under the sun that you could think of or want. The one I'm wearing today over the City Lips liquid lipstick is called Tammy. And of course, I go to look up how they describe the shade. Even though I can describe it myself, I like to see how the brand describes it. It's discontinued. Tammy is discontinued. But there are 66 other shades to choose from. 66. I think the closest shade to this one would be Trixie. I also love the feel of these. I know there are people that do not like the feel of these. I have heard from viewers in the past that say that their lips actually burn from these, or they just can't stand the sort of minty little tingle that they have. To each their own. I personally love it. And lastly, the 10th product that makes me feel flawless is actually a repeat from last year. I did go back to last year's video and see what products I chose at that time, and I could not do this video again without mentioning this product again, because it is probably the #1 non-makeup yet makeup product that makes me feel flawless. How many times can I say the word flawless in one video? This is the Vita Liberata Body Blur. I use the shade Latte. This is my go-to product year-round for my arms, for my legs, for my chest. Sometimes I wear it on its own. Sometimes I will mix it in with a little bit of a shimmer lotion or an oil. This specific shade Latte is perfect for my skin. It's not too orange, it's not too brown. It's really just that perfect golden tan color that I would get if I were to naturally tan. I realize that because of my blonde hair and blue eyes, a lot of people would think I must burn if I were to ever go in the sun. And well, I haven't gone in the sun since probably 1990. Most of the time, if I'm out by a pool or at the beach, I will be under an umbrella or somewhere in the shade. But when I was younger and I did go out in the sun with my friends with the Banda Soleil or the Hawaiian Tropic, I actually did get a pretty golden tan. My mother has very olive skin and brown eyes, so I guess I did get a little bit of her skin tone in me. Anyway, if you're someone that does like to show off your legs or any other skin on your body and you want something quick and easy to apply that will not only give you some color, but will also help to cover those little blue veins that we have on the back of our legs sometimes, and any other just sort of skin discoloration that you might have. One of the big questions I always get is, Risa, does this rub off on your clothes? And the answer is yes. I hate to say that, but I'm going to be truthful. I have had this come off on articles of clothing. I've never had it come off on any furniture or anything like that, although I would never sit on someone's couch at a house party with this on. But I've used it many, many times at restaurants and lounges in Vegas and have never left my mark, so to speak. The worst that's happened with this product is that I will take off a dress and I will have a little bit of a discoloration, like right in this area if I've put it on my chest, or maybe just a little bit on the back of a dress or skirt. But it always comes out after I take the garment to the dry cleaners. All right, everyone, I do hope you enjoyed seeing my updated top 10 beauty products that make me feel flawless. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and join the Risa Does Makeup family. I do try to upload new content at least 2 times per week. You can also find more content from me on Instagram and TikTok under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.